Right. So first of all, welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us on this call today. Trust me, you should be very, very excited by what you're going to hear. So you're in the right place. In fact, what I'm going to show you today, nobody else in the world has got. This is a very brand new concept and we're absolutely dominating right now. So it's all good. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. So before we get into the actual presentation, what I wanted to just get through with you is a little bit of housekeeping. So you guys are going to hear some concepts today that are probably brand new to you. Well, I know they are going to be brand new to you. Okay. So you're going to have questions. There is a chat box. There's a chat box function, which you're all more than welcome to use, as this presentation is going to be in 2 halves. Okay. So as during the first half of the presentation, please make use of the chat box function. All right, you can message me privately, or you can send a message to the group, whatever your preference is. And at the end of the first half, that's when I'll get through the questions that you have. I mean, you're free to ask me any more questions via chat. Then at the end of the second half, okay, that's when we'll have an open mic Q&A, so you guys can unmute yourselves. And we can just have a direct back and forth, okay? So yeah, so that's, if we can keep it that way, that'll be good. Right, so before we get into what I'm gonna present to you guys, let me just give you a little bit of background on myself so you know who you're speaking to. So my name is Matt Daniels. My background is in finance, and that I worked in the finance industry for about 16 years. 16, maybe 17 years. So by the time I was 21, I'd been seconded to work in one of the offices in South Africa. And then I've worked in Portugal, and I've worked in Denmark, worked in a few different places, built up a career rather than a job, moved. I ended up getting to middle management, which was, a good career path for me. Had 2 beautiful daughters who are now fast approaching teenage years. Kira is going to be 13 in March, and Tamir is 10 now, both very much daddy's girls, and bought a house, got engaged, did all of that good stuff that you do when you go from being a young person to an adult, right? So it's a great time of my life, though a lot of the values and the ambition I have now was was kind of fostered into me, or educated. My education kind of that was a huge part of my education as a man and as a business person. So I had the opportunity to work for some very, very smart people. However, there were some parts of working in an office, working in a corporate environment, which just didn't sit right with me, right? So one of those things is basically the higher up you go in the food chain, the less positions there are for you to be promoted into, okay? So it becomes a little bit dog eat dog in the terms of, for me to succeed, I need to get that promotion ahead of you. And I think some managers, some senior management are quite happy to play people off against each other. And I saw that a little bit, not a huge amount, but enough for me to think, unless you're top dog, it's not really what I want to be doing. I'm very much an abundance mindset type person. And by that, I mean, I believe I can get ahead by helping other people. I don't want to put you down to be able to get ahead. It doesn't sit right with my conscience. That's the first thing. The second thing is, in terms of just having a glass ceiling over your head, right? I just felt like, I think everybody gets to that point where you feel there's that invisible glass ceiling for you to jump to the next level. And do you really want to, And for me, one of the key things was my kids. So I just couldn't get my head around the fact that I was spending, 8 to sometimes 15, 16 hours a day, depending on whether we had deadlines and stuff like that to meet, working and spending time with people who I don't really know. Yeah, we only really we meet at work, and sometimes we go to the pub. But other than that, I don't really know these people. Some of them I didn't really care for a whole lot. And I did that more than I saw my own family and the people that I love. And I just think, I'm 36 now. I don't want to be doing that for the next 30 years. That's just not something that I couldn't get my head around that at all. So the reason why I'm telling you all of that is because I had my eye on an exit. I was looking for something outside of employment, something which would suit the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So as so when I first started out, I wanted to have a job, I wanted to get paid, I wanted to build a career. But as I got older, it was more about what kind of lifestyle do I want to have? Where do I want to be spending my time without lacking, without reducing my ambition in any way? I still want to be very successful, but I want to do it on my own terms. So a year ago, December 2014, one of my friends introduced me to an online training platform called DS Domination, which is basically just a series of videos, which you just log into the database and you get a series of videos, some of them short videos, literally taking you from scratch. This is how you set up your eBay account. This is how you set up your PayPal account, etc. And then you had some longer webinars where some of the top e-commerce experts in the company would hold open webinars for a couple of hours, and they show you their strategies to find products to sell online and make money, basically. So I was brand new to e-commerce, but I'd always been intrigued by it because I always wondered, how do you find these products at the lower price to sell at a higher price? Because if I knew that, then it made sense to me, right? And I like the business model because anything you do on the internet, well, not anything, but most things you do on the internet, you can do from anywhere in the world. And remember, I said, I want freedom of movement. I spent the last 15, 16 years going to an office and coming back. And now I want to be able to run my business from all over the world. So I have to say this, it was only a $20 to get started. So I wasn't thinking I was going to be like Richard Branson or anything like that in the first 5 minutes, but it was worth getting started. And it was something that the person who introduced it to me, who's now become my business partner in, a lot of different, we're in a lot of different things. But at the time we thought, this is something fun we can kind of get into together and let's see if we can make it work. So basically, that was the first week of December 2014. So it took me 3 weeks to make my first online sale, because literally I started from scratch. I didn't even have an eBay account. I didn't have anything. So it took me until the end of December 2014 to make my first sale. And that was with me working on it every single day, apart from Christmas Eve, Christmas and Boxing Day. And the only reason why I didn't work in those days is because my girlfriend at the time said she'd leave me if I worked through those days. So I had to compromise, but I'm quite a focused person. So when I set myself a goal, I go hammer and tongs at it. So I thought that was quite good. I thought making my first sale, it was for it wasn't for a huge amount of profit. It was for $3, which is about, I don't know, £1.80, £2, I don't know. But it meant to me that it worked. However, fast forwarding to now and what I help people to do, people that join me now tend to make a sale in the first day, second day, third day, fourth day, first week. So making a sale, taking 3 weeks for me to make a sale, and I worked bloody hard for that sale, excuse my language, it was pretty rubbish, right? I'm going to hold my hands up and say I wasn't a naturally gifted e-commerce person. But you don't need to be, because it says a lot about the training, which I'm going to explain to you about, that you don't need to be an expert. So anyway, when I made that first sale, then I knew it was something that I could get better at, right? So I knew if I carried on working hard at it, then I would make more sales and more sales. So I set myself, this is the end of December, maybe the very beginning of January. I set myself the very specific target of within a year becoming self-sufficient. So remember, I come from a corporate background. Setting myself business goals and meeting deadlines is what I've done all my career, right? So I set myself that goal. So if we fast forward to now, which is just over a year ago, right? Let's say a year and 1 month. So 4 months ago, my business partner and I, James, we set up our first business together. So we set up a company called Product Kings. We're both directors. We both got equal shares. We co-own the company, which I'm very excited about. I personally turn over several £1,000s worth of products, selling other people's products online on my Amazon account. I can sell on multiple different platforms, but that's just my preferred model to sell on. We also, Product Kings, that as our company, we launched our first private label branded product on Amazon last month. So just before Christmas, we launched our first product, which we sourced from China and branded underneath the Product Kings brand. And so now that's selling in France, Italy, Germany, Spain, and the UK. So we're very, very excited about that. in addition to that, and so we're gonna, in a few months' time, once we've got that to where it needs to get to in Europe, then we're gonna launch it in the US and potentially the Canadian market as well, and then we're gonna launch product number 2. Okay, outside of that, there's about 20 to 30 people who are following my DS Domination program. So the same training videos and webinars that I was following for the last, year or so. I've got some people following the same training program, but they're joining me as an affiliate. So that means I get a commission every month from their subscriptions, depending on which training level they're at. And I also provide them one-to-one support as well when they need it. Okay, so they get the benefit of my insight. In addition to that, about 6 weeks ago, the owners of DS Domination, they launched a brand new company. Okay, and so this brand new company is called Infinii, and because of the success that I had with DS Domination, I basically dive straight in. So let me just back that up by saying a few months ago, I actually flew out to Texas by myself, because when I started to make a bit more income and I'd gone past a few months where I was still working it out, and my sales were very sporadic, they were uneven, right? Once I started to make a regular income and my income was becoming more and more significant, I realized that this was something that I realized how powerful this was. So I decided that when they were hosting an event in Texas, I decided to fly out there. Even though I didn't know anyone, it was just me and my friend James working on this all the time. We didn't know anyone, but we'd seen some, pictures of people holding up big checks and that type of thing. So I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to commit myself to something, I want to go and meet people. I want to go and speak to people. So I flew out to Texas by myself, turned up at this event, and I got to look the owner of the company in the eyes, hear him speak, hear his vision for the company. His name's is an Indian guy called Hitesh Juneja. I met some of the people in the pictures who were holding up checks, and I met some of the more ordinary people who, were having mid-tier success like myself, and who'd maybe been working with these guys longer, right? So these guys have been around for about 2.5 years. And one thing that I came away with was an absolutely crystallized understanding, a realization that these guys are the real deal. They are absolutely committed to helping the ordinary person retrain, learn new skills, and be able to earn an income which can give their families and themselves more options than they had before. E-commerce is one of the most lucrative industries in the world. And just because of the model that we've got, it doesn't matter what your background is, you have an opportunity to really earn the type of income that most of us would never even dream is possible. Okay. So the reason I tell you that little snippet there is because when they launched this new company back 6 weeks ago, I was all in. I was absolutely all in. In fact, I was one of the first 1,000 people to join Infinii, and I'm still with DS Domination as well. So I've got multiple income streams. And so basically, when Infinii launched 6 weeks ago, I've basically had just under 300 people directly or indirectly join my personal business in about 8 or 9 different countries. Okay. And I'm very proud about that. That's not something that's happened to me before, but I think it's got more to do with the power of the product than myself. And Infinii as a whole, in the last 6 weeks, has had, I think they confirmed they've gone past 60,000 people joining the company. And when I mean joining the company, I mean people all around the world setting up their Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Google, Bonanza, all of their e-commerce stores to go and make money, right? This is about making money. This isn't some kind of funky cult or anything like that. This is about ordinary people learning e-commerce skills to go and make money, okay? So, and just to be really clear, because I want to get to this point now, what is it that we're talking about? What is different about this training that sets us aside from everybody else? So what you're going to learn is how to find how to find profitable products and a wide range of products in a way using strategies that other people just don't have. Okay, so where one person will spend ages trying to find one product, you're going to find a whole portfolio of products to diversify the amount of sales that you're making, and to just start to build a heavy platform of income coming in. Right, you're going to learn how to sell on different platforms. different e-commerce platforms. But the key thing that I want you to really understand is what sets us aside from everybody else is we're going to give you strategies to outsell everybody else, right? We're going to remember the people. So let me just give you some context here. I obviously wasn't the only person that was been following this DS Domination program, right? So about 150,000 other people were following the DS Domination program. And in the just under 2.5 years that DS Domination has been about, they have trained ordinary people like myself so successfully that we, the members, have been able to generate $2.5 billion in e-commerce sales in just over 2 years, all right, which equates to about just under 500 million in clear profit. That's absolutely world class. There is no other company out there on the planet who has helped ordinary people like myself to generate billions of dollars in e-commerce sales and hundreds of millions in profit in the first 2 years like these guys. So these guys are absolutely number one in the field. There's nobody that comes close to the kind of success they've helped ordinary people like me to have. So my numbers, my humble numbers, I would like to add, are in that 2.5 billion somewhere. So, it's very, very real. And you can see a stat down here which says our members are earn 6 times more than the average sellers on eBay and over 7 times more than the average person on Amazon. Okay. So it really is very, very powerful, very, very powerful stuff. Okay. So that's what basically sets us aside from everybody else. So you're in great company. All right. So the logical question that you would ask is, if DS Domination was so successful in their first 2 years, right, helping people like me to generate $2 billion and more in e-commerce sales and hundreds of millions in profit, why would they launch another company 6 weeks ago? Right. So if that was me, I wouldn't have, right. I'd be just right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But there's one thing that I really want to get across to you guys is that you'll learn this when, as many of you do every single night, join our business and you start to watch the videos. You're going to watch some videos with the owner in it, Hitesh. He likes to communicate directly with all of us. And you're going to realize, just like I did when I met him in Texas, the guy is an absolute genius. He's very humble, very unassuming, but he's absolutely a visionary. And his vision, which he's fanatically committed to, is helping the ordinary person to be able to create an extraordinary lifestyle. Yeah, through hard work, through dedication, through ambition, but giving us a platform to take our lives to the next level. So the reason I'm telling you that is because he was already, or I don't want to give all the credit just to him, but the leadership of DS Domination were already looking at how can they build upon the success that the DS Domination platform has obviously experienced, right? So they identified 3 areas which they believed if they could overcome these challenges, then they could take the DS Domination idea to the next level. So the first thing was, how could they use the existing success of its members, people like myself, generating billions of dollars of e-commerce sales? How could they monetize or leverage that success to negotiate even higher profit margins for us, right? So put more money in our pockets per sale, which is a great thing, right? The second thing is, if you're based in Africa or you're based in another country where that they don't have Amazon and eBay, what do you do? Right? Unless you've got relatives in, say, the UK or the US, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get on the e-commerce ladder and earn the type of money that is possible. Okay. And then the third thing is not necessarily specific to e-commerce and DS Domination, but just the entrepreneurial journey in more generically, right? So most startups fail in their first year. Most enterprises that people start fail in its first year. And a lot of that reason is because you have to, just like I did, in my first couple of months of doing DS Domination, I wasn't making that much money. I was making a couple of sales here and there, but I was still figuring it out, right? And that's what happens with most people. You're putting in a lot of effort. You're making a lot of every mistake possible. That's what you make, right? You probably cash flow is really tight as well, and life happens to you. But you have to have the mindset that no matter what happens, I'm going to be here next year. And that's the one thing that I had going in my favor, is that I'm very hard-headed. I'm very focused. So if I set myself a goal, I'm going to do it, especially if you tell me that I can't do it. Right. But not everybody has that type of mindset. So they wanted to create a platform that makes it easier and quicker for people to make money. Okay. So the reason why I go into this kind of deep background is really because the solution that they came up with is what I'm presenting to you guys today. The solution to those, building upon DS Domination's success of helping people like me to generate billions of dollars of e-commerce sales and taking it to the next level, the solution they came up with is Infinii. So that's why there's so much excitement on the internet about this right now. That's why it's just gone crazy. And probably one of the reasons why you're on this call right now is you've seen something on the internet, people posting their results. People have, as I said to you before, there's people that have joined my business over the last 6 weeks. And, some of them have made, £1,000, £2,000 already, or their first couple of sales, really meaningful money straight away. People are having great success with this platform. So you should be very excited. All right, let's move on. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is, so Infinii now is the parent company. This is the mothership, right? So DS Domination hasn't gone anywhere. DS Domination sits underneath Infinii as one of its digital product offerings, okay? So there are multiple different layers to what Infinii offer, and I'm going to walk you through each of them, okay? So the first one takes me back to when I first started, and this is great. This is called drop shipping. All right. So what you're going to learn, and this is the perfect business model for people just starting out, where you can make sales without purchasing any upfront inventory. Right. So let me explain how that looks. So in the first instance, you don't have to, but most people seem to, because they're familiar with the name, they like to start with selling on eBay. Right. I started selling on eBay. So what happens is that we will show you how to get started as an eBay seller and source products from places like Amazon, right? Everybody's familiar with Amazon. So in this example here, you've got this teddy bear on Amazon, which is selling for about $9, right? So without buying the inventory, you source this product for $9 and you check on eBay to see how much is it selling for on eBay. So we can see here it's selling for just under $18. So we know we can make some profit. So what happens is you click into one of these listings. So there's one here in particular. So a listing is an advert. It's an online advert, right? It's just what it's called, but whatever you want to call it is fine. So you click on the listing and then you take the URL. So the URL is the web address that's always at the top of your, whatever web page you go to, you've got the URL, right? So you copy the URL and using a tool within Infinii. So you're not doing this in eBay. You do this within your account in Infinii. There's a tool called the Auto Listing Creator, which is called the ALC, right? And this is such a powerful, powerful tool because this means that you can literally paste in the URL into this ALC and it will basically create the listing in eBay for you, right? And any of you that's ever done e-commerce before, has ever sold on eBay before, you know that creating a listing can be an absolute pain in the ass. There's no other ways to put it, right? It's tedious. You're always refining stuff and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can do it quickly, but if you want to make sales, you've got to refine it and refine it and refine it, okay? And so sometimes, creating one listing used to take me half an hour, sometimes longer than that. When you're first starting out, it's difficult, okay? And so this tool here is an absolute godsend because when you put the URL into this tool within Infinii, this tool will basically create this listing for you in under 30 seconds. And I said seconds, not minutes. 30 seconds. I think the quickest time that one of my team has done this in is 20 seconds. And don't for a second think that you're compromising on quality. For those of you that understand SEO, optimization, that type of thing, you're not. The beautiful thing about this tool is that it's gonna create this listing for you in 20 to 30 seconds, and you are gonna be one of the most SEO optimized listings in eBay. So if you don't understand what that means, don't worry about that. All that basically means is that when somebody is searching for this type of product on eBay, right, they type it into the search box. So eBay decides who's going to be the first result they pull back, second result, third back, all the way back to number 10,000, right? So the inexperienced people, the average sellers, they're somewhere in the back. But this tool and our training will teach you how to be one of the first results that gets pulled back using our techniques. Okay. So then when somebody buys this from you, remember, you haven't purchased this yet. You've just listed it on eBay, basically copying over the images and so on. So when somebody buys this from you, the money then goes into your PayPal, and you take the money and then go and purchase it at the lower price in Amazon. But instead of putting your own address, you ship it directly to the customer and you keep the difference. Okay. Very, very powerful way to do business, because now you can start to earn profits just like I did a year ago without any upfront costs. Okay. And not only can you do that, this is kind of where you start to cut your e-commerce teeth, because it's at this level that you naturally gravitate towards the niche that you prefer. What I mean by that is it just happens naturally that you will prefer to sell certain types of products. And because using this style here, you can afford to put up as many different types of products as possible. And eventually you'll find a specific type of products or multiple types of products that you're just good at selling. You make a good profit from it and you're just good at selling it. Okay. And so that's going to set you up for the next strategy we'll give you. So you're still doing drop shipping, but now you've got an additional strategy where once you become a bit more experienced and you know which products are selling and you know how to look on Amazon and see, products that are doing well. So for example, on this right-hand side here, you can see this leather looking phone case, which is selling for about $30, right? But we will show you how to now start to use more international type websites like Alibaba, AliExpress, etc., where you can source very similar products that are selling well. They have a good market of people buying them online. And now you can start to source them from places like China or wherever in the world and ship them over for a fraction of the price. So now your profit margins start to increase and increase and increase. Okay. So remember, this is in addition to dropshipping. You're not stopping dropshipping. All right. In addition to that, we'll give you another strategy. Okay. So this is a very powerful strategy, and people are getting excited about this all around the world, because we're going to show you how to turn what's normally, your weekly shop is usually an expense, right? You budget out of your wages. All right, I'm going to go shopping. I spend roughly, £80 a week or wherever it is you spend a week, right? Well, we're going to show you how you can turn your weekly shop into a profit-making exercise. And this is brand new to the UK, but when I was in Texas last year, they just launched this kind of scan and sell strategy, and it's very, very powerful. So what happens is that when you're walking around the shops doing your shopping, you also download an app. So you'll have an app that you've downloaded onto your phone, and you can scan products, right? The barcode of products, and it will tell you within 1 or 2 seconds whether you can make a profit from selling that product on Amazon. All right. So, and also it'll tell you how popular that product is on Amazon, because you don't want to buy products that you can make a profit from, but nobody's buying, right? That's not what you want to do. You want to buy products which are selling and you can make a profit. And the beautiful thing about this app is when you find products, as you're going around, you find, okay, this product looks promising. You can just basically click a button and you can list that product for sale on Amazon before you've even left the shop. So what does that mean? So basically, when I first encountered this in Texas, we had what was called a shopping party, right? So a whole group of us descended on a wholesalers, not too far from the hotel where the event was, and we basically just ran amok in this stock. Basically, I don't think the owners knew what was going on. We literally were scanning stuff, and people were literally listing stuff while we were in the store still looking around, and they were making sales. So by the time we got back to the hotel, they'd already sold 5, 10, 15 items before they even got back. All right. So it's a very, very powerful strategy if you know what you're doing, and we show you how to do it properly. Okay. Remember, this is in addition to the other strategies. So this slide here basically shows you that when you start to layer on your drop shipping on Amazon and eBay, etc., and then you start to source products from places like China, and then you're scanning and you're scanning products while you're out shopping, even if you're just doing this part-time, right? The profits start to add up. Okay. And this becomes such a powerful strategy for you to make money from a very lucrative industry. Okay. And so one thing that I want to kind of really, I think is worth emphasizing is, remember, when I found this business model, when I got introduced to this, I had already decided what lifestyle I want to lead. Okay. I had already decided that, you know, being in the office, working for somebody else, you know, wasn't the type of life I wanted to lead. I wanted to be able to go and do what I wanted when I wanted, and not compromise on income. And I think it's important to stress that, because this is the perfect business model for that. Okay. It's one of the most lucrative industries in the world, but you can shape it around your lifestyle. You don't have to be in any particular location to run your e-commerce business. In fact, I can personally tell you that, you know, wherever I've gone on holiday or something, that all you need is your laptop, Wi-Fi connection, and you can run your business just like you was at home. Okay. So very, very powerful. And you can learn in your own time, because there's videos that you can watch. So what memberships are there for you to join? So let me go into a little bit in terms of what you get for your membership. So there are 3 different membership levels. Okay. The first one is the Prime membership level. Okay. And basically, this is where you get your entry level training on how to become an eBay, Amazon, and Google seller. Okay. So those kind of strategies that I was showing you before. Very powerful platforms. Amazon, eBay, and Google are probably some of the best known brands on the planet, right? And we're going to show you how to leverage the millions and billions of dollars that are being generated in terms of e-commerce sales, and how you can get your slice from there. You'll also get some really powerful tools like the Auto Listing Creator, the ALC, which are going to make all of these little things, these slight advantages that we give you over everybody else, all compound to become huge advantages over time, right? So being able to list in 20 to 30 seconds is just a game changer. Yeah. And you'll understand that. So that's $50 a month. Now at the intermediate level, the surge level, before I kind of speak about the training there, I want you to understand that you're even though you're at the intermediate level, you're still getting everything at the Prime level included. So it's an all-inclusive level at the intermediate level, right? So that's $150 a month. So not only do you get all of the training at the Prime level, but now you're also going to get some slightly more advanced strategies to help you take your business to the next level. Not only that, you're also going to get training on some additional platforms. So not only just eBay, Amazon, and Google, now you're going to get training on platforms like Shopify, which is a hugely profitable and popular platform to sell on right now. Platforms like WooCommerce, which you might not have heard of. I hadn't heard of them before. Infinii introduced me to them. And also how you can set up your own internet web store. Okay. So remember, these guys are some of the best e-commerce sellers in the world, which are training us. All right. So just to give you an example, like when I say to people that I sell on Amazon, and I coach people to sell on Amazon, on eBay, most people kind of like, yeah, eBay, you know, most people have tried selling on eBay at some point. They're like, yeah, okay, but there's not much money in that. But yes, there is. And the reason I tell you that is because the people that train us, for example, one of the guys that does the videos that you guys will get access to, he's doing $200,000 a month selling just on eBay. All right. That's over 2 million. That's over 2 million a year. Okay. So you cannot tell me that there's no money to be made on eBay. It's just that you don't have all the strategies that the top people use. And that's what you're getting. You're getting absolutely up-to-date, current, world-class training on how to become a top seller, not the 98%, how you become like the 2%. Okay. So kind of to build on that theme, you're going to get strategies that other people aren't using. For example, cashback, right? Everybody's heard of cashback. You know, you get a debit or a credit card, which is affiliated to a certain bank. Your bank incentivizes you to spend. They say the more you spend either in these type of stores or buying these type of products, the more cashback that you'll get, right? I've got a cashback card, probably earned me about 10 or 15 pounds for the whole year. Not anything completely exciting. However, as a top e-commerce seller, remember at this level, at the surge level, which is kind of where you're starting to take your e-commerce business seriously, you could be making hundreds, if not thousands of transactions every single month because you'll be selling lots of products, right? So the average seller is just making profit from their sales transactions. Whereas when you've got the kind of information we've got, you can use cashback to earn profits from purchases as well as profits from the actual sales. So just to give you an idea, some of the top e-commerce sellers in our company, some of them have showed snapshots of their cashback accounts where they've made $60,000 cash back in 1 year. That's got nothing to do with the profit that you're making from selling the product itself. This is purely just using cashback. So most people don't even understand about that, right? So that shows you how powerful it is to have training from people who are at the top of the game. So then the third level, which is our flagship level, this is the XL level, and this is $400 a month, right? And so remember, you're getting all of the training at the Surge and the Prime level, okay? But now you're getting some additional training, which is going to take your business to international world-class level, if that's what you want to do, right? So this is the level that I've just got to. Okay, this is when I started a year ago, this is the specific goal that I set myself, really, that I want to get to this level as quickly as possible, because I knew this was where the money was at, right? So at this level, now you're going to get training from some of the best e-commerce sellers in the world on how to go and start your own private label product range, how to source products from China, how to create a brand, how the logistics of moving product from one country to another country, how to communicate with Chinese manufacturers, right? There's cultural differences, time zone differences, how to, when the product's here, how to launch the product to market, how to how to understand what Amazon, so this specifically how Amazon algorithms work, how you can not manipulate, but how you can circumvent all of the different things that Amazon make you do, so that when you launch your product, you really launch it in a big way compared to other people in the market. Because remember, some of the people that are training us, you know, they're earning 200,000, 500,000. Some of the people in our upline are doing over $1 million a month in e-commerce sales. So obviously they have different and better strategies than the average person. And that's not tied to budget. That's tied to know-how. It's tied to strategy. Okay. In addition to that, and just to give you an idea, one of the reasons why it's so powerful to launch your own brand is because you own it, right? You set the profit margins. Nobody else can sell your products without your permission. And this is something you can give to your kids, right? Because you own it. This is something that further down the line, you know, if you build up some impressive sales numbers, you can go to professional buyers from store retailers and get them to stock your product in their store. Why not? Right? And even more than that, you know, in the UK, it's not complete. If you launch your product in the right way and you're committed to excellence, there's no reason why you can't get one product to be making you £10,000 a month, right? So how do you get to £100,000 a month? Well, you launch 10 products, yeah, and you continue drop shipping, and you continue, you know, shipping product from China. There's ways. This is the way you do it with e-commerce, right? It's not trying to find one product that's going to make you £1 million. It's creating a portfolio of multiple income streams. Okay. And that's how you get to £1 million status, £2 million status. And the other thing you're going to get at this level is you're also going to get, you're going to be trained on how to exploit Amazon's FBA business model. And I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of the presentation, I basically said I can sell on multiple different e-commerce platforms, but my preferred one is Amazon. I love Amazon FBA. In fact, that's basically the core of what my business model is right now. And so Amazon FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. Okay. And so what that means is I've got a couple of boxes of product from China downstairs right now, and I'm going to send that into Amazon one time. Okay. So I send it into their warehouse, and using Amazon's FBA service, somebody in Amazon is going to open up those boxes and take out every single unit hand by hand. Remember, there's thousands of units in those boxes downstairs. Somebody's going to take each of those units out one by one and label them for me. Okay. And then remember, Amazon sell my products in France, Italy, Germany, Spain, and the UK. So when somebody orders my product on Amazon from me in any of those countries, Amazon fulfills that order for me. They physically send it to the customer. If the customer has any queries, Amazon deals with the queries. I don't, right? And if any of the customers have returns, regardless of which country it's from, they send it to Amazon. They don't send it to me. So what does that mean? That means I'm free to go and pick my kids up from school, right? It means I'm free to go and do other things. But for me, and one of the things I love, and if you're friends with me on Facebook, you'll see lots of screenshots of this on my Facebook, is there's plenty of times I'm walking to go and pick my daughter Tamir up from school, right? And I'm getting notifications on my phone from Amazon saying, congratulations, you've just made another sale. Amazon will fulfill this for you. And it's great because that really hammers home that it's way more powerful to get paid for your knowledge than your time. Okay, so you're leveraging Amazon's services work rate with your knowledge because you know how to source the products. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's on offer. Okay, so how do you get started? Okay, well, as I said to you before, I explained the different price points for the membership levels. But I think at this point, what I really want to profess to you guys is this, right? I understand that everybody has different budgets. Everybody has a different level that you're going to start from. Some people are going to be able to go in straight at the $400 level, just like I did. That's fine. You're going to see the value in everything I've said straight away. And you're like, right, that's what I want to do. Okay. But some of you are going to be like, okay, I can't afford to. I can only afford to go in at the $50 level. That's fine. Or you might be like, okay, this is all such a new world to me. I don't want to, commit $400 a month. That's fine. Start at the $50 level. You're not going to get any hard sell from me. All right. But what I encourage you to do, right? And this is just me encouraging you to do it. You can do what you want with your business. But if I were you, do what I did a year ago. Set yourself a specific target to get to the Excel level, the $400 level, as quickly as you can. All right. And what I mean by that is if you start at the $50 level because you have to, that's fine. But make enough profit to go and to make enough profit from selling online to upgrade to the surge level, right? As soon as you made $150 profit, upgrade. Then as soon as you've made $400 profit at the surge level, upgrade to Excel, all right? I've got people in my team right now that have made the best part of £2,000, not dollars, pounds in profit in their first month. So there's no reason that you can't do the same, right? It's really about how much you apply yourself. So this is when you get to the Excel level, this is where you really have the opportunity to earn life-changing money, okay? You can earn good money at the levels before that. But when you get to the Excel level, this is where you're really as long as you work hard, right? You work hard, you've got the ambition, this is the opportunity you're going to have to start earning, matching and surpassing whatever it is you earn right now. I guarantee you have the opportunity to match and surpass it if you work hard, follow the training and are ambitious enough at the $400 level. Okay. So, just bear that in mind. Okay. So then if you want to be a partner, this is an additional income stream. And I'm going to talk about this in the second half of this presentation, right? So for an additional $10 a month, you can be like me where you can get paid to share this with other people. And I'm going to show you, and that's completely optional. All right. So I'm going to show those guys that stick around for the second half of the presentation, a strategy which is very, very lucrative for you to maximize that partner bit. But before I do that, I just want to talk about one additional thing you get for free. Okay. There's no additional cost to you. And this is literally starting tomorrow morning. All right. So as well as the video library of training that you get from some of the top e-commerce sellers in our company, you're also going to get some additional trainings to fast track your knowledge. So everything you can see in front of you right now is geared towards fast tracking you as quickly as possible to making sales. So even just using the videos, I've had people make a sale the first day, the second day, the third day, the first week. Everything is geared towards you making money quickly. Yeah. But then in addition to the videos, you're also going to have the opportunity to enroll in the masterclass series. Now, this is absolutely something unique. And I think it's an amazing, it really talks about how seriously the owners of this company want to invest in your knowledge to give you real world skills, to go out there and be valuable on the open market, right? So what you can do, and remember, this is free, it's included in your membership, is that you can enroll in for the masterclass series. And what that means is, as well as the videos that you get, you're going to basically be able to join almost like an open university. It's going to be like a live event with one of our top trainers. These guys are doing a lot of money online every single month. And basically, you're going to follow a training series live, which you can log in. It will be recorded as well. And at the end of the series, you have the opportunity to go for a certification, accreditation, right? So you can become an expert e-commerce, get your EEC certificate. So this is not just some kind of certificate you get for turning up and signing your name and putting your date of birth. When you pass this means that you will be like other Infinii members will be able to hire you, pay you to advise them and to manage their own e-commerce accounts for them. Very, very clever idea because remember, the whole point is that we all become e-commerce experts. I have several hundred people now following me who I'm helping run their businesses, but this is kind of an official way to say, right, this person is EEC qualified. So I don't know how it's going to work in terms of the hourly rate, or is it a daily rate, but you are going to be able to charge people to manage their accounts for them, because you will be have demonstrated an aptitude, which meant that you got the certificate. So it's a very, very powerful thing. And if we think about this before we get to questions, so far I've told you how you can make money on Amazon, which is completely independent to selling products on eBay, and then Google, Bonanza, Shopify, WooCommerce, how to set up your own internet web store, how to import products from China, and now how to become an EEC accredited almost consultant, where you can manage other people's e-commerce accounts, their Amazon, their eBay, and get paid in addition for that. That's 8 completely independent income streams. Right? None of them are dependent on the other. So I think, just at this level, you've got 8 different ways to make money. And I would say maximize all of them. Yeah. So before we get to questions, because I see a few questions in there, please do post more questions. I really want to stress to you guys that even if you only do the e-commerce side, if you don't tell anyone, don't tell your mom, don't tell your dad, don't tell your sisters, your daughters, anybody. Don't tell anyone. Just sign up, go and lock yourself in a room and learn how to do e-commerce. You can make as much money as your work rate and you're following the training and your ambition allows. You can become a millionaire just by doing the e-commerce side if you work hard enough over the coming years. Okay. So that is what I really want to profess to you. So most other people cannot say that. Now, I can't see any questions in here. So does anybody, can you give me some feedback about what you've just heard? Right? It's just from all of the new guys. I've just, if you want to post something in the chat box, do you like the idea that I've just shown you 8 different ways to make money? And that's without telling anyone, right? You don't have to share this idea with anyone if you don't want to. Can I get some feedback from you, please? Don't be shy. Post something in the box.
Yeah.
Is Franklin?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, Franklin, welcome. Thanks for turning up. What can I do for you, sir?
Nah, I've never heard of it before, so it's quite new. I'm kind of impressed, and I'm gonna have to, get into that ASAP.
Good man. Which level do you want to get in at?
Well, I'm gonna start with is it the basic one, the $49 or $50?
Good. Okay. All right. So that's
I'm gonna start off with that. I can't go for obviously the surgeon one, but I just want to take it step by step, get myself familiar.
Franklin, that's fine. As I said to you guys before, you're not going to get any type of hard sell. I don't need to. The product sells itself. So I don't need to do any hard sales. All I'd say to you is treat this like a real business. You'll make profits like a real business. So set yourself goals, work with whoever it was that introduced you to this presentation. Go back to them. I will support you guys as much as possible. Set yourself goals, be ambitious, try and make a sale tomorrow. Try and make a sale in your first week. Right? Be ambitious, and this is such a powerful platform. So welcome to the team, Franklin. Great to have you on board. Thank you for contributing. Okay. Anybody else want to ask me a question or give me some feedback on what you've heard? Because then in a second, if I don't hear anything more from you guys, then I'm going to say something that most of you guys will never hear another opportunity say to you, right? So while some of you are deciding if you want to ask me questions, I'm going to say this, okay? At this point, this is the end of the first half of the presentation. So the second half of the presentation should take me no longer than 10 or 15 minutes max, okay? But that's a completely optional side. So if at this point you are only interested in doing e-commerce, you're not interested in doing any form of getting paid in addition to share this with other people, I invite you very respectfully to log off, go back to the person who introduced you to this presentation and just choose which level you want to get started on and go and start making sales. That's it. Go make sales, go and sell on eBay, go and sell on Amazon. The second half, which I'm going to start in a second, is only for people who want to make an additional income stream. So remember, I think I got to 8 income streams where you don't need to share this with anyone. So the additional income stream is going to be to become an affiliate like me, where you're going to get paid bonuses in addition to share this with as many people as you want to, right? So, and also for those of you that do stay on, I'm going to give you a strategy where you have the opportunity to make more in the next 3 months sharing this with people than I hazard a guess you earn in a year. So be very excited. It's equally as exciting as everything that I've just shown you. So does anybody else have any more questions before I move to the second and final part? Okay, good stuff. Right, so let's get to where the second bit, and I trust me, this is very, very powerful. So as I said, this should take me about 10, 15 minutes. So bear with me. I'm going to do my best to explain everything in a very simple way, because I understand that there's a lot of information coming at you. But what you've got to realize is what you're listening to right now has never been done before. Okay, so it's just natural that it's going to take a little while to sink in. Okay, but it's worth listening to. So for those of you that are still here, all 13 of you, thank you very much for staying on. I guarantee you that it's worth you listening to what I'm going to show you. Okay, so remember, this is completely optional. There's no pressure, right? You can just do the e-commerce. However, if you want to earn an additional income stream, okay, then sharing this with other people is very powerful. And let me tell you why. First of all, Infinii, even though they only started 6 weeks ago, are not starting as unknown startups. They are starting as already the best in the world. All right. And the reason why I tell you that is because the compensation plan, the bonuses reflect that ambition. They are already the best in the world at what they do, and they plan on even putting even more distance between them and everybody else, and that means by helping more people. So the compensation plan is basically the best in class, the best kind of compensation plan that you're really going to see in the network marketing industry. The other thing I'm going to tell you is, which will seem like a contradiction in terms, but when you listen to the webinars that the CEO gives, Hitesh, you will work out very, very quickly that he's absolutely hates most network marketing companies, most MLMs, most home-based business. Not all, but most, because he believes most of them, because they're purely based on team building, they know mathematically the average person will not even be able to make a small, consistent income, because it's all based on team building. And as soon as you say to people the only way you can make money is team building, most people are turned off by that. And which is why it's very difficult for you to build a solid, sustainable business that you can grow. Okay. But they kind of dangle this dream that, oh, you only need to introduce a couple of people and you can become a millionaire, right? But that's not the case. And so whether you agree with that or not, the reason I'm telling you that is because the compensation plan that has been created is deliberately geared towards people, the ordinary person. So yes, if you're a great team builder, and when I say compensation plan, I'm specifically talking about this affiliate side, okay? It's deliberately geared towards helping people who wouldn't traditionally be big team builders to still have a realistic opportunity if they work hard over time to get to the top of the compensation plan. Okay. So before I get into that, what I really want to express to you guys is, so how does Infinii measure your performance? So if you think of a sales rep in a retail store, right, selling clothes. So sales reps have sales targets. So it may be in a week, in a day, in a month. I don't know. I've never been a sales rep, right? But they have in a specific time frame, if they hit a certain amount of dollar or pound sales of products, they will hit a bonus. And this is exactly what the type of thing you're going to get here. But what you get measured on is called business volume. Okay. So when you become an affiliate and you introduce other people to Infinii, basically all of the activities that you and the people you introduce to the business, who will be called your personal enrolled tree, they will generate business volume for you by doing 5 different activities, right? One of them for example, setting up their own Amazon and eBay accounts, you're going to get business volume that is derived from how much sales you're making on a monthly basis. Okay. But the key thing I'm going to focus on now, because this is the lever that is going to get you to the bonuses the quickest. And you can see here, there's 7 different bonuses that you can get. The thing that's going to get you there the quickest is by putting people into the business, right? That's just the quickest lever you've got to pull. So how do you drive business volume? Well, your membership subscription drives business volume for you, right? So when I join at the XL level, which is what I'm at, every single month I pay $400 towards my membership, but I also get a $400 business volume credit towards my monthly total. So you're measured on a monthly basis, okay? And anytime you introduce somebody to the business, you will dollar for dollar get a credit for whatever membership level they buy towards your business volume and anybody that they go on to introduce, right? So that's called your personal enrollment tree. Anybody you personally introduce and anybody that they go and introduce will be part of your personal enrollment tree, okay? So now we're going to talk about one of the bonuses, and this one is called the Accelerated Beginners Bonus. Now there's a clue in the name, accelerated. This is a good word for you and I, right? So what this means is they want to give you the best opportunity. When I say they, I mean Infinii. Infinii want to give you the best opportunity to be able to break even or make a profit in your first month. So any serious business person looks at how quickly, based on what your initial investment is, how quickly can I break even? How quickly can I get to profit? Because then you've got a business. You haven't got a business if you don't make a profit, right? So let's take an example here. So you've got 2 different types of bonuses that you're looking at here. Plus there's a third one, which I'll explain to you. So I always like to pick on somebody at this stage. So I'm going to pick on Janine. All right. So Janine. Okay. So you, Janine, have started on the $150 a month level, right? That's the intermediate surge level. Okay. So, and you want to become an affiliate like me to get paid to share this with other people. So you pay an additional $10 a month to be an affiliate. So your startup investment to start with Infinii will be $160, right? So let's say Janine said, Matt, look, I've got something really fantastic to show you. Come and take a look. So I take a look. I come on this presentation. I go, wow, this is amazing. I'm all in. I want to go in at the $400 a month level, right? Which is the XL level. So just for making one sale, Janine, because she's put me in at the $400 level, she generates $400 of business volume because she's personally sponsored me. So that means she earns $100 in cash bonus, right? But then there's an additional bonus called the Fast Start bonus, which basically is in relation to, for every person that you personally put into the business, you will earn 15% of whatever membership level they buy. So 15% of the $400 level, which I just purchased, is $60, okay? So just for putting one person into the business, Janine has been able to break even because she's earned $160 just from putting me in at the XL level. So that means if she puts in 2 people, an additional person, now she's in profit. Right? So now you understand why this is called the Accelerated Beginners Bonus, because you can literally break even. If Janine had gone in at the $50 a month level, she would have made a profit with that one sale. So you can literally have the opportunity to break even and make a profit with just 1 or 2 sales. Very, very powerful. I don't see where you're going to get that opportunity anywhere else. And remember I said to you, so the third bonus you get is in relation to your personally enrolled tree. So remember I said, this is Janine putting me into the business and me going in and putting in 1,000 other people. All of us will be in Janine's personally enrolled tree, and now membership levels, each and every one of us, dollar for dollar, will go towards Janine's monthly business volume total. So once Janine's PET, personal enrollment tree, had achieved $2,500 of business volume in 1 month, she would earn an additional $250, all the way up to $1,000 capped in 1 month, right? So now you know that you can basically break even or make a profit with just 1 or 2, introducing this to 1 or 2 people. Now I'm going to talk to you like for the next 5 or 10 minutes about how you can make some truly game-changing money. Okay, so I know there's a lot of information on this slide, but don't worry, I'm going to explain everything to you. I'm only going to pick out 2 levels on this slide, okay? And the reason I'm going to pick out these 2 levels is because I believe that even if you have never had any network marketing experience, you've never built a team before, but you're willing to work hard, you're coachable, and you're ambitious enough, you can achieve these rankings in 1 month and 3 months. Okay, so the first one I want to speak to you about is called the national managers level. Okay, so this is the top end of what I believe an ordinary person can achieve in 1 month. In fact, I became a national manager in my first month, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the data that you're looking at. The left-hand side data is the business requirements for you to hit national manager. The right-hand side data is the compensation, the bonuses that you'll get for hitting this rank, okay? So I'm going to pull out my trusty calculator. If anybody cannot see the calculator, just tell me you can't see it, and then we'll try and fix it, but you should be okay, right? So as an accountant, I like to use calculators, and I believe it's going to be easier for you to follow how I'm coming up with the totals that I do. So going from left to right, starting with national manager, which I believe is doable in 1 month. You don't have to, but it's doable in 1 month. You need to be, so where it says activity requirement, you need to be yourself at the $150 level or above to meet one of the requirements to hit national manager. Okay, so the $150 month level or the $400 month level. Okay, but the number I want you to focus on is this $10,000 business volume. Now you can see up here it says PETBV required. Don't be turned off by all the acronyms. That basically, we've talked about this already. This is your personal enrollment tree's business volume requirement. Okay, so remember, your personal enrollment tree is Janine putting me into the business, me putting Kat into the business, Kat putting Samuel into the business, and Samuel putting 1,000 other people into the business. All of us will be in Janine's personal enrollment tree. Okay, so let's take this $10,000 business volume requirement. This is a 1 month requirement for you to do this, to hit national manager. And I'm going to divide that by the $400 a month membership level. Okay, remember, there's 5 different things that go into driving business volume, but I'm just going to focus on team building because that is the quickest way you can get to these targets, right? So if you wanted to hit national manager in a 1 month, you should basically put in the equivalent of 25 people into your PET, your personal enrollment tree, at the $400 level in your first month. Now, remember, this isn't 25 people you've personally put in. You might only put in 2 people yourself at the $400 level, and then you help each of them to put 12 people in each. That would still be your 25. Okay, it's called leverage. That's what we like here. So what do you get? No, sorry. So let me explain how I did it, because I didn't do it based on 2 people. So I basically put in about 5 people at the equivalent of the $400 level a month, right? And I helped each of them to go and duplicate that same effort. Okay, so basically each of them to go and put in 5 people at the $400 level. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so that's how I got to national manager. Now, what do you get? Well, this accelerated beginners bonus we know about. So let's quickly go and look back at that slide for a second to see what the earnings potential in total are from this bonus, right? So we said in the example that I'm using, I'm basically saying that we're going to put in 5 people at the $400 level. So that's, first of all, you'd have maxed out this personally sponsored bonus because it's capped at $400. So let's put in $400, okay? Move this over here, put in $400, okay? Plus, all right? So then, because you've hit $10,000 business volume, you would have earned $1,000 from this bonus over here. So let's put $1,000, right? Oops, I can't count. So I'm going to put in $1,400 because that's what the 2 of them come to, okay? 1400. Okay, but then remember I said to you that you earn from the fast start bonus, you earn 15% of every membership level that you personally put in. So the 5 people you put in at the $400 level is $60 commission times 5 people is $300. Okay. So now you're at $1,700, which is great, right? Your first month, you're more than broken even. So no reason not to go in at the $400 level. Okay, now we're going to talk about a slightly more interesting bonus to some of you. Because when you become a national manager, you are going to be drawing from this bonus pool, this dual team weekly maximum. This is a weekly bonus. And at national manager, you can earn up to a capped $2,000 a week based on how much business volume is being generated in your team, right? So you can earn up to $2,000 a week, but we're not going to go do any calculations at the top end. We're going to find somewhere in the middle, right? Because I'm fairly cautious. So let's look at the lesser requirement regional manager, which is an easier rank to hit. The top end of that weekly bonus is $1,000 a week. So let's go with $1,000 a week, right? So times 4 weeks in a month is $4,000. So I've just shown you a way that you have the opportunity to go and make $6,000. You can make more or you could make less, but you've got the opportunity to go and make $6,000 in the next 4 weeks. Can I get some feedback from you guys on that before I get to the grand finale, the final piece, the end of the presentation? Can somebody just tell me, did you like what you just heard? Don't be shy. Somebody say something. Do you want to post in the chat box or do you just want to say great? Have you fallen off your chair? I bet some of you are just looking at the ceiling right now, right? You guys are hard work, man. Okay, Franklin says amazing. Thank you, Franklin. I appreciate you, sir. Alex says love it more every day. Thank you, Alex. Yep. Any of the other guys? Kinney, Bella, Glenn says good stuff. Okay, appreciate it. Well, if you like that, you're going to love this, right? So this is the final part. This is the bit where I said, I'm going to show you a strategy to go and earn more in the next 3 months than I hazard that most of you guys earn in a year. So pay very close attention, right? So the next level I'm going to show you is the director level, okay? So listen, bear with me. We'll be over in about 3 or 4 minutes, okay? So just like I did at the national manager level, I'm going to go from left to right. So you need to be at the minimum of the $150 level a month to be at the director level. All right, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be at the $400 level because I just showed you how to go and make them a couple of grand. The number I want you to focus on is this $30,000 business volume requirement for your personal enrollment tree, right? So remember, that's anybody you put in yourself and anybody that they go and put in themselves, right? So if we divide that by the $400 membership level, that's 75 people, which is not an insignificant amount of people. However, this is over a 3-month period. This is not a 1-month target, okay? So if we break it down into what you need to do over each month for 3 months, it's 25. We know this number. This is the number, this is the effort that we achieved to become national manager. And so the reason why I pull these 2 levels out, because they're both very closely correlated, right? So what I mean by that is, if you become a national manager in month 1, you know that all you need to do is duplicate that same amount of effort in month 2 and month 3, and now you're a director in 90 days. And there are some huge financial incentives for you to do it in 90 days. So let's start to talk about the bonuses. Well, now your weekly bonuses are capped at not $2,000, but $3,500. So if we take somewhere in the middle between $2,000 and $3,500, that's about $3,000, right? So if we times that by 4 weeks in a month, that's $12,000, okay? But that's not the best thing, because you're not just a director in name now. You are a true director in Infinii. And so now you're going to get some director and above only bonuses, right? So this $200 bonus here doesn't look very sexy compared to this $12,000, but I would tell you that it is. So this bonus here, I call the leadership development bonus. And what this means is that, remember, so to hit director, right, all you need to do, right, is in month 1, put 5 people into the business yourself and help each of them to put 5 people in. And remember, what does help them mean? Think about whoever invited you, unless I invited you to this call, this doesn't count for you. But for all of those people that were not invited to this call by me, think about how much that person has said on this call. How much have they contributed towards this presentation? Not a lot, right? So when I say put 5 people into the business yourself in month 1 at the $400 level and help them to do the same, what I'm basically saying is let me work with them. Okay. And then in month 2, do the same thing. Put another 5 people into the business at $400 level, which is basically 1 person a week, and help each of them to do the same by introducing them to me, and then do the same thing in month 3. That's 15 people that you've personally put into the business and helped each of them grow their business. Infinii will reward you for helping people you put into the business grow their businesses. So if we put in here $200 bonus, this is per person that you put in yourself and help to grow the business. So $200 times the 15 people we've helped is $3,000. That's a weekly bonus. Okay. So we know $3,000 times 4 weeks is $12,000. So just between these 2 bonuses, I've showed you how to go and make $24,000, right? But that's not the best thing. The best thing is if you become a director in 90 days, now you're going to earn an additional $20,000 on top. 20,000. Okay. So to bring this to a close, because we're running slightly over, in month 1, I said, if you become national manager using the strategy I gave you, approximately you can earn around $5,700, right? Okay. You might earn more than that. You might earn less. Okay. Then in month 2, remember, you're already a national manager. So you already have earnings potential up to $2,000 a week. And because you're duplicating the effort you put into month 1, you'll be earning around $2,000, basically, give or take. So $2,000 times 4 weeks is $8,000. And then in month 3, when you hit director, now your weekly earnings potential goes up to a capped $3,500. So the example we did was $3,000 times 4 weeks. That's $12,000. And then we said from this additional bonus here, because you help 15 people, that's worth another $3,000 a week, $12,000 a month, right? And then if you become a director in 90 days, and I just want to really show this to you so you understand, this is a very specific target. Director in 90 days, $20,000, right? So if you hit that, then I've just shown you how to go and make $60,000 in the next 3 months. That's the end of the presentation, guys. Are you excited by that? Can I get some feedback? Give me something. Okay, Janine says, excellent, wow. But I believe she was still talking about the first month. Kinney says, informative so far. Okay, holding your cards close to your chest. Can I get some more feedback from you guys? This says, great. Listen, now you can unmute yourselves, guys. This is the end of the presentation. Now you are more than welcome. Glenn says, staggering. I know. That's why everybody's so excited, right? That's why we're all just going for it. And guys, listen, before we get some feedback, even if you only achieve half of this, are you going to hate on me for earning 30,000 in the next 3 months or 10,000 in the next 3 months? Of course you're not, right? So guys, give me something. Glenn says staggering. Kinney says, I'll give it a try and see how it goes. That's all we're asking you to do. Just go and be the best that you can be, right? This is something worth being good at, right? So go for it. What have you got to lose? It only costs $10 extra a month to be an affiliate, to be a partner. So all you're doing is betting $10 on yourself each month, and you could potentially earn thousands. Okay. So does anybody want to come on the mic? All right. Let me see. Janine, can I pick on you, Janine? Because I would like to, because Janine, right? Hello, Janine, right?
Hi.
Hello. So Janine saw a post that I made on my Facebook, and she just said, can I join the presentation, right? So she's actually my guest. So Janine, what did you think of, what did you like best about what I said?
What, today?
Yes.
What, just now? What you just said just now, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I like the partner part.
Oh, you like the partner part best?
Yeah. That's amazing. I wasn't sure whether you're talking about Facebook or what you just said.
No. I'm talking about, yeah. Cool. So you're excited about the partner bit, yeah?
And I'm just thinking, can I just like invite anybody to just listen to the presentation?
Yes.
Anyone that I know.
This platform takes up to 50 people at a time. I do presentations every single day, and they're usually half full. And probably half of the people that come on the presentation, all of them join. So this is a product that sells itself. As soon as people know that they can make money without team building, it's easier to go on team building.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So run free, Jimmy. Run free. So what level would you like to go in at in terms of the membership level?
Well, I've already gone in. I already went in.
Oh, you're already in. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but I wasn't a partner because I wasn't sure.
All right,
I
well,
wanted
become a partner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thanks, Cindy. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Right, Viz, can I unmute you? Viz, I've just unmuted you. Okay, all right. I don't want to put you in the spot if you don't want to speak. That's fine. Glenn, I've just unmuted you.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can do, sir. I can do. What did you like best?
The networking side of it, I think, interests me more than anything.
Excellent. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
The figures at the end were quite eye-watering, really.
Well, you can see why I'm, and the beautiful thing is we're all in our homes, right? We're not doing any hotel meetings or coffee shop meetings. I'm doing this presentation from my room. Okay, my dinner's downstairs. I'm good. So this is a great way. And as I said, in the first instance, all you're doing is inviting people to this presentation, or you're going to have a lot of marketing materials that Infinii are going to give you to go and send to people links where they can watch a video or can watch a much more official presentation from our top corporate lawyer. So it sounds, lots of big words and all the rest of it. But if you want to send them to little old me, you're more than welcome to invite them to this presentation. Okay?
Okay, excellent. Good stuff.
Okay. Which level are you going to go in at, Glenn?
I'll probably start, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. I'll probably start the beginner.
Okay.
See how it goes, test the water, and hopefully go from there.
Good stuff. Well, if you're going to be a partner and you're going to share this, you'll probably make more than $400 in your first week if you follow the strategy I give you, Glenn. So welcome to the team, and I look forward to seeing you having lots of success.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Stuff, thank you for contributing. Okay, Kinney, I've just unmuted you. Kinney?
Yeah, I don't know how to unmute myself.
No worries, Kinney. Are you okay to speak?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm.
No. Yeah, you're fine. We can hear. No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right, right. Yeah, I'll give it a try and see how it goes.
Excellent. Tell me, first of all, what did you like best?
I was actually traveling from work, so I missed some of it. Mm-hmm. But me, it's all about money. So if it's an opportunity to make money, I'll give it a try and see how it goes.
Good man. Listen, all we're saying, this is just a platform for you to just go and achieve something. Like, look, if you achieved half of what we just talked about, right, would that not set your 2016 to be better than what you'd expected it to be?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Definitely.
Well, this is the idea. This is helping people to start to dream again. Trust me, the team that I've pulled together, those guys are focused and they are very, I feel so blessed to be working with the people, to be able to help people and work with people that are seeing the opportunity here and just running with it. All right. And they're all running rings around me right now. I just can't do this presentation and support them as best as I can, but those guys are running rings around me and I will help you in exactly the same way. Okay.
All right. I look forward to it.
Welcome to the team, sir. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say something before we bring this to a close? Anyone? All right. Let me see. I think there's some questions in the chat box. Bella says, thanks, Alex. No, just to let you know, I'm at work and I can't talk. Okay, no worries, Bella. But we assume that you like it. Viz, is there already an info webinar in Italian? So, Viz, remember, Infinii is only 6 weeks old, right? So I know there's one in Russia because this has gone crazy in Russia right now. I think there's one in Spanish and French. I might be lying about the French. Italian, not yet. But they will be rolling out videos in every single language possible because this is a truly global concept. So don't let that stop you from just moving forwards. Okay. So even if you have to get on the presentation and translate or something, then just do that. But this is such a fantastic opportunity. Just share this like crazy and you'll earn big money. All right. Anybody else have any other thoughts? All right. Bella says she's in Mexico. Oh, wow. Cool. Yes. So Bella, they already have Spanish presentations. I know that for a fact. So go and run free, Bella. Run free. In fact, Bella, I assume that you are basically joining the team. So welcome to the team, Bella. You can type in the box if you want to tell me what you like the best. Does anybody else want to contribute anything? You're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'm going to bid you all good night and look forward to seeing all the success stories, and I'm going to go and have my dinner.
Cheers, Matt.
No worries. Take care, guys. Welcome to the team, all the people that I've learned.
Night, Bella. Night, Glenn.
Okay, thank you. Take care, guys. Good stuff.